Hello, Poudre Education Association, coming to you today from CEA Delegate Assembly, where 500 educators are gathered and making policy for CEA for the coming year. Say, wasn't Friday something? Thank you to all of you who came down for the march. It was just the shot in the arm that we needed to get through the rest of the school year. But Friday was just opening day. There is so much more to be done. Lots of work to be done. Look for Day of Action Part 3 that will be related to Initiative 93, and we were kind of hoping that we could have that this coming Tuesday, but we've got negotiations Monday night. Just so much going on. I think watch for an upcoming date early in May where we will deal with Day of Action Part 3. For me, one of the highlights of the rally was Stephanie Gutierrez Hansen's speech on the Capitol steps. And so for this Union Chronicle, I give you Stephanie Hansen.
Hello, Colorado! How are we doing today? My name is Stephanie Gutierrez Hansen, and I'm a first-year teacher at Poudre High School and Poudre School District. Behind me are just a few of the members of my building that are here to help me and support me in any way they can. When I was first asked to speak today, the prospect absolutely terrified me. It's one thing to talk to a bunch of high schoolers, but a whole other to talk to everyone here today. Yes, ma'am. I initially said no, with the intention to think about it, consider it, and then just say no again. But then I was at the Early Career Leadership Fellowship Conference in Washington, D.C. last week, hosted by the NEA. I was able to connect with my fellow early career educators from across the nation. Today we discussed how we are going to initiate change for our schools and children and help empower other young educators like ourselves. It was so inspiring to work with them, so I decided in the middle of a meeting I would do whatever I could to help initiate this change. I passed a sticky note to my association president, Tom List, and I said, I'll do it, before my fear took over. Later that evening, we rented some bikes in true Fort Collins fashion and biked to many of the national monuments. We were fortunate enough to see the Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Monument. I was in awe. On one of the walls of the memorial, I read the following quote from his letter from Birmingham jail. "The ultimate measure of a man is not where he stands in moments of comfort and convenience, but where he stands at times of challenge and controversy." It was at that moment I knew I made the right decision to speak today. I will begin by saying I love my school and my district. I want to plant a future in my community. But due to my salary, I am not sure I will ever be able to afford buying a house in Fort Collins. As someone just starting out in this profession, it is incredibly discouraging when many of my colleagues have been teaching for over 10 years and have master's degrees, yet have children on free and reduced lunch, enrolled in low-income health insurance, and have spouses with no health insurance because they cannot afford to enroll their families in our district benefits plan. I went through a rigorous program to earn a bachelor's degree in history with a social studies teaching concentration. I paid $16,000 a year for my education. I started out making $36,000 a year. I spend half my paycheck on rent each month and allocate the rest between bills, food, entertainment, and supplies for my students or treats for them. With all that being said, that is not the sole or most important reason all of us are here today. We are here because the institution of education in the state of Colorado is massively underfunded. We are all here because of our desire for change. We are all here because Colorado is 39th in the country in per pupil funding. In 2015, Colorado spent on average $2,162 less than every other state. We are here because half of the school districts in Colorado operate on a 4-day week schedule to cut costs. We are here because we share the belief that the institution of education should be funded according to its worth. More funding directly translates into more books, more desks, more field trips, more technology in the classroom. All of these things are necessary for our children to get the most out of their education. More funding also allows for more supplies for our students who need help. It is impossible to teach students who are having difficulty focusing on lessons because they are hungry or are preoccupied with the extra stress of working so that they can supplement their family's income. Like Dr. King, all of us here have the audacity to believe that peoples everywhere can have 3 meals a day for their bodies, education and culture for their minds, and dignity, equality, and freedom for their spirits.
Yeah! Go, Stephanie! Woo!
To close, I will end with this. A friend and fellow educator, John Crozier, participated in a lobby day recently where he was able to speak with willing legislators about how they can better cast their votes to help us help our kids. John and his partner had the opportunity to speak with Colorado House Representative Bob Rankin. During their conversation, Representative Rankin asked John, "Don't we do enough for you people?" Well, I think all of us are standing here at the Capitol today to tell all the legislators and anyone else who is listening, no, you are not doing enough for education, and it's time that you help us better support our schools and, more importantly, our children. Because if not us, then who? And if not now, then when?
Give it up one more time to Miss Hansen. Give it up.